Hey guys, it's Keenan, and this is my room. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, I moved. In my previous videos, I'd say in the span of 2 years, I was living in a 4-bedroom house with a couple of roommates, and now I'm currently in a 5-bedroom house with a couple of roommates. That being my little brother Kobe, and then my friends Justin, Noah, and Joey. We've been all moved in for about 2 months now, and I'd say there are some changes when it comes to living headquarters for all of us. Last house, I had the master bedroom. This house, I don't have the master bedroom. I give it up to my roommate Noah. So that being said, we went from having a lot of space to kind of having to improvise with all the stuff from the last house. Moving into this house, I was kind of just like, I don't think I need that much space. So going from the biggest room in the house to, I'd say, the second smallest room in the house, we got to work things out. And there was a lot of improvising into kind of putting my room together. And I will say it is not 100% complete, but I'm happy with where it is right now. So from the beginning of the last house, it was kind of started as a content house, and to be honest, it didn't end up as one. I wouldn't say this is a content house, but it's more of a house for the 5 of us to kind of grow and find out what we want to do in life. And the sad truth is that we're getting older. I'm not going to force everyone to make content in the house. I'm not going to force everyone to show their rooms. I'm not going to force everyone to become an influencer and showcase their life on the internet. So will there ever be a house tour? Maybe. But right now, we're just going to showcase my room. And if my roommates decide to show their rooms, it'll probably be on their channels if they ever decide to. But for me, I'm still going to be making YouTube videos. I'm still going to be trying to become consistent when it comes to IRL YouTube videos and content. I just need someone to start yelling at me when I'm not posting. Like for real, like in my comments, DM me, yell at me. But with that being said, I have a bunch of videos planned, whether that be alone or with the roommates that I have in this house. But before I get into all my future videos and future projects and all my future creative aspirations, I might as well show you guys where all the magic's happening. So right when you walk in through that door, you're gonna see the vinyl wall to your left. I started collecting vinyls maybe a couple years ago. It's kind of been on a hold ever since I started getting into K-pop and collecting K-pop albums. But physical music, I've been collecting for I'd say a couple years now. I'm a big fan of music, and I wanted to showcase it and showcase the important core pieces of my life in my room somewhere. So ever since a couple years ago, I put together my first vinyl wall in the apartment that me and my cousin used to live together in. This has kind of been a staple in my room ever since I moved into the last one. And right when I moved into the room, I knew exactly where I was putting the vinyl wall, right in the middle of my closet in the main door. And kind of just showcases the variety of music that I listen to, from pop to hip hop, rap, to even movie soundtracks. From Billie Eilish to Blackpink to Olivia Rodrigo to my favorite Logic album. And I know a lot of people aren't big fans of Logic, but this album is one of my favorites of all time. Of course, everyone knows Flower Boy. Of course, everyone knows Blonde. We have one of my favorite Gracie Abrams albums that I've been a fan of for a couple years now, to even 2 of my favorite movies, La La Land and Interstellar. Next, we have my bed. I wouldn't say there's anything special with my bed. I literally have 3 different mismatching pillows. Like, there really is no theme when it comes to my bed, which I should probably find one. But it's made. It is crazy what a made bed can do to make your room look clean. Start making your bed. I think this is probably my favorite accessory that's kind of a main piece of my bed is my MacBook. This MacBook clutch, because if you look at my POV from my bed, and you guys are basically seeing eye level, like that's what my TV looks like. This is probably the one part of my room that needs updating, is my TV stand. Right now we're kind of just sticking with this kind of low TV stand that I got from my roommate's girlfriend's sister, which shout out. This is kind of just like a miscellaneous part of my room where it's not really too organized, but originally this shelf was kind of used as my K-pop shelf before I got an updated version. Now it's just a place where I just leave my TV. I got some books over here. Underneath the pandas is my Korean book that I've been slowly kind of learning from. After I learned Korean, I kind of basically want to teach myself how to speak Tagalog. I'm basically 100% Filipino. My parents never really taught me Tagalog when I was younger, but it's definitely on my bucket list on a language that I want to learn. Like I said, literally a miscellaneous shelf. I literally have a disposable from the first apartment I ever moved into when I was 17. Like just a random glorious mouse just chilling. I have most of my season greetings under the shelf. To the left, we have my mini fridge and my record player. I've never had a mini fridge other than like this little 6-can miniature one. Just never really pulled the trigger on the purchase, and I was kind of really picky. I really wanted one that you could see through out of, just so I can see the caffeine just like calling me. And then right on top we have kind of a record player that I've had for a couple years now. I do eventually want to find a vintage aesthetic record player, but in the meantime, if it works, it works. Now before we get to what's behind me, what's in front of me is kind of one of my favorite spots of the room as well. In the last house, I kind of had a wall with a bunch of posters and K-pop themed. It was like a K-pop theme wall. Now I finally have like my own shelf. I'd say it's mostly K-pop. I mean, I have a Logic Funko Pop and a Grogu Funko Pop. And then I got this cool light wristband that I got from VCT Champs in 2023. It was in Los Angeles. And I will say VCT Champs was probably one of my favorite events that I've ever been to. Go to an esports event if you're a big fan of esports. Any certain esports that you enjoy, whether it be Valorant, CS, League of Legends, and you've never been to an event, go out of your way and experience that because it's one of the most fun that I've had. aespa is one of my favorite groups and winter is my bias, so we have a winter edition album. This is my photo card book that I haven't updated in so long. I have a bunch of photo cards that need to be kind of sleeved and put into a binder, but I have a new bigger binder for everything that is waiting down here. I'm a big fan of multiple groups, like La Seraphim, we got Islet, TXT somewhere in there, even IU. I feel like this is probably one of the, but I feel like this is probably one of the most underrated projects that I've listened to. In the middle, we have our Binky Bong and our Candy Bong, which is the New Jeans light stick and the Twice light stick. We have Ditto, which is probably my favorite New Jeans song. On the left side, we basically have two of my old groups, New Jeans and Blackpink. Aside from the two light sticks in the middle, we have another light stick, which isn't really K-pop themed, but it's Sentinels. Which if you guys don't know, it's an esports organization. This area was kind of just red themed since the baby monster, the Sentinels, and then we have a little Chiquita pin, which is kind of cool. The collection growth has been on kind of a pause just because moving is expensive. And the final part of the room tour is, of course, my setup. This is kind of where all the magic happens. I don't usually put a crazy amount of money into my setups. I'm more of a person where if it works, it works. But to start off the setup, this is the chair that I'm in. I've had this chair for a couple years now, and I really want a new chair. That's probably on my bucket list of things that I want to upgrade. I'm kind of getting tired of kind of like the leather chair. It gets hot and I kind of want a more of a comfy ergonomic style chair. Don't look at the wires. For those of you that are crazy with wire management, I'm sorry. To start off, we have my PC. It has my controller right on top if we ever need that for a game. And we have my Eero, which is basically kind of like my own router in my room. It's the main source for my wired connection. We have another monitor right here where I used to have a 3-monitor setup, but I've been using a 2-monitor setup for some time. I just have that third one just in case if anything happens, which low-key, I probably should find a new spot for it. To the right of the monitor, we have extra foam panels that I have, including some art from my cousin. I have extra K-pop albums, and then the rest of my vinyls are there as well, right next to the TXT cereal box. Kind of like my bed, I do have 2 mismatching monitors. I have one Acer monitor and then I have an Asus or Asus, however you pronounce it. My main monitor is going to be a 240 hertz and then this one is a 60 hertz, I believe. I use the Logitech G Pro Superlight. I've had this mouse for a couple years now and it's always done me justice. Other than me needing to charge it and I forget. That's the only time it bites me in the butt. Then we have my Stream Deck, which is probably one of the best purchases that you could make as a PC gamer. And even if you're starting to stream, I use it for multiple purposes and not just for my streams. It's a really good product, really good purchase, and yeah. Now underneath the Stream Deck, we have my keyboard, which I low-key might get roasted a little bit just because I might be one of the only people in my friend group that doesn't really have an expensive or a custom keyboard. And I've had this keyboard for, I'd say maybe a good almost 5 years from Amazon. After that, we have a Go XLR, which is another good purchase that has clutched up for me in some times, especially when I'm streaming. If you guys don't know what this is, this mix amp basically allows you to filter out certain audio inputs. Like we have my Shure SM7B audio, then we have my Discord audio, to my Spotify, and then to like my main source game and display audio. I'm able to completely mute my mic by just one press of a button. Plugged into my Go XLR is gonna be my in-ears that I use. I've been using in-ears for, I'd say maybe like a year and a half now, and I will say I'm probably never going back to a headset. I just find them more convenient for me, and I avoid the headset hair, especially with my straight Asian hair. So yeah. This is the brand of my microphone stand that I have that's connected to my Shure SM7B, which I've never had any issues with either. This has probably been my favorite mic arm that I've purchased. I'm pretty sure I got it on Amazon. And to close off my gaming setup, basically everything is resting right on top of this rising desk that I got from Amazon. I will say I don't really mess with the levels. I don't really game standing up or any of that stuff. So my desk is usually at a very consistent height, I would say. But other than that, I think the only thing to talk about is this. So one thing that's different about this house compared to the last house is that the rooms aren't carpet. We're on these sort of wood tile flooring. A downside about this house, especially when I was moving into a house full of gamers, 4 of us actually live upstairs, and it's just one hallway that connects all 4 of our rooms. So when we're all gaming and we're kind of all getting immersed, there are times where the house gets really loud. And I will say one of the biggest challenges from moving into this house was kind of figuring out a way to soundproof as much as I can, especially in my room, for when I stream. The one thing that I always do to try to suppress the noise from my voices and also suppress the noise from what's going on outside of my room is this. It's literally just a huge curtain. When I say that it low-key does a lot, oh, sorry, you guys can't see. When I say that this curtain actually does a lot of soundproofing for my room, for inside and outside, I'm not joking. One aspect that I love about the curtain is that whenever the curtain's out, it kind of creates 2 different areas of my room. Like one side of my room is kind of where I rest and lounge and just chill, and then the other side of my room is kind of where all my hobbies and all the magic and work happen. I don't know, it might be a delusional thought process, but if you understand, then you understand. But yeah guys, that's basically my room. Maybe I'll end up doing an updated room tour towards the end of the year, or maybe if we renew the lease, I'll do another one for 2026 to see how much has changed. And maybe if you guys really do want a whole house tour, if the rest of my roommates are up for it, then so be it. You guys will get that. I kind of just wanted to introduce the part of the house that you guys will probably see the most when it comes to my content, especially if you watch me on Twitch when I'll be streaming. This is kind of the only area that you guys see of the house. I hope you guys enjoyed, and for those of you that have stayed with me for the past couple of years now, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. And for those of you that are just joining me in this kind of next era of content, welcome. Yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys whenever I see you guys. You guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, wherever you are. I love you guys. Peace out.